Okay, guys, the highlights from Greatstockpix.com live trading chat room from Friday, May 31st. I'm starting off with one that didn't work just to show you what I was thinking. I called ALKS here. These are 15-minute candles. This purple line is the 200 period moving average. Oftentimes, a stock that's pretty beaten up on an intraday basis will find some support there. So I started to look for a bounce around this 3250 area. And let me switch to 5-minute candles now and go to that area. Actually, it was a little bit above that. So I just took a long. We had this little bottoming tail here, little hammer. Took a long right on the break of that, and didn't take very long before I was back out. Right, break, and as soon as that fails, I'm back out. And you can see what it did. It was weak the rest of the day. So the 15200 certainly didn't play a role there. Also, I don't usually start these videos with my losers, but also I called FIO. Let me go to fives here. First, let's go to the daily. FIO was on long watch because it had this nice volume spike. Put this in the video last night that we were going to have this on long watch, and the fact that it's held this range. Oftentimes when you get a big gap down, it ends up just going into a range, and so it held this range and had a nice little gap up yesterday on volume. So I put it on long watch for today. Now here's the call I made, which may land FIO on my do not trade list, but you had an early high of day of 1440, came down, held, didn't take out the lows of the day, and then put in this little base here. So I was going to either call the base break, or I thought, you know what, a new high of day on FIO might just get us some momentum because it's such a beaten up stock, and it might get through yesterday's high and then really get the longs piling in. So my idea was 1441 with a 1432 stop. I think those numbers are right. So look what happens. There's the trigger. You have to squint to see it. 1441. 5 minutes later, down to my stop. So it took out the high of the day, then comes down and takes out 30 minutes worth of trading, before finally grinding higher. But just a, I don't know, just a nasty trader. I didn't lose a bundle on it, and I had a nice green day, but mostly thanks to the teamwork in chat, not to my own stock calling prowess today, that's for sure. Where I did make money was on a thin stock, CLNT, and I don't usually call these, but I called it long right here at like 668, thinking it was going to break the high of the day. Stop was 20 cents below. So there's the trigger, 668. I took it, and then actually I bought it here before it broke the high of the day. I told everybody if this gets through the high of the day, it could get some momentum, and I'll show you why in just a second. So took it at 668, and within 10 minutes, this thing was 702, and ended up going a little higher. I went to 7. I sold most of mine at 7. The whole number, I figured that's enough. And 32 cents on a $6 something stock is a pretty nice percentage gain, and that certainly helped me. But here's the reason why I called it. Because a week and a half ago, it traded 13 million shares and went from like 430 all the way to almost 11. So that's a huge move. And when something like that comes down, they usually come down pretty hard, but you can get some nice intraday spikes like this one. So that's the reason I kind of keep CLNT on my radar. But it's a thinner stock than I would normally call. The only time I call thin stocks like that is if they've had some recent huge move on massive volume, because they can give you some nice money in your pocket. All right. Let's see what else I have to show. Big Ideas pointed out STZ, and this is a great example of teamwork in the chat room. Big Ideas pointed out STZ when it looked like this. And remember that 200 period moving average I just talked about on 15-minute candles? Actually, Big Ideas pointed it out when it looked like this on 15s. You see the purple line there? That's what we call in chat the 15-200, 15-minute candle, 200 period moving. So all Big Ideas typed in was STZ into the 15-200, because we know in chat that you can get a nice bounce there. So he typed that. Then Stephen B looked at it and said, hey, it is interesting. Then I looked at it, and I'll switch to 5-minute candles here to show you what I was looking at. Those guys put it on the radar, and I said, yeah, and you've got shape change. So you see the shape, if you put a line across the top of the 5-minute candles, and then you do it again here, you see that shape change? This is often the signs of an intraday bottom when you get that shape change. Okay, bam and then bam, and so we had a couple things working for us. We had the 15-200 where it could bounce, and you had shape change, which usually highlights intraday capitulation. And then one more post, Big Idea said, hey, I'm going to play this off of 2-minute candles. and now there it is, zoomed in with 2-minute candles. So what he was looking to do was go long the first break of a previous 2-minute candles high, because we had the other two things working for us. We had the 15-200, and we had shape on 5s into it, and big switch to 2s to try to find a really nice entry. So 52.71, if it breaks this green candle, that's the entry. And there it is. And the worst case stop below this candle, 52.64. That's 7 cents risk. And from 52.71, let me switch to 5s now. This went as high as, I mean, this wasn't huge. Went as high as 53.27. The market's still open for about another 10 minutes. Went as high as 53.27. But that is a nice move on a very tight stop on 7 cents risk. So that was kind of a teamwork example there. And then also Stephen B called AOL just above this little base here. Had this tight base. It had, I believe it had bounced off, or no, actually it was down several days in a row. I can bring my daily chart over here. You see it was down several days in a row. Actually broke the 200-day. But it's a good example of a stock to have on Bounce Watch when you have these 3 days in a row. And you can kind of see the shape change we talk about on the daily. I don't know if I'll be able to do this here. You can kind of see the shape, and then from here down to here, you can kind of see the shape change. Whenever you see shape change, really on any time frame, it's a good time to start looking for a reversal. So Stephen B had this on watch, and then you have 5-minute candles here, and you just had this long base after it hit the early high of day there. Here's the opening candle. So he just called this long over this. His idea, 34.26, which triggered right there, and he put a stop 11 cents below. And look at that, we've got to move to, I'm not sure, 34, let me double check. Went to 34.76. So a 50-cent move there on 11 cents risk. It doesn't get much better than that. So a couple really nice calls by Big Ideas and Stephen B. And again, the CLNT thin stock helped me a little bit today too. Oh, and I called a long in TSO. TSO and HFC, the refiners had my attention. And when TSO got this volume spike, I'd probably have to go to 2-minute candles here. It was about 62.18 when I called it, and the stop below this candle, 61.90 something. But it was, what, see the volume there? That's just one of our Tokyo plays. I just took it long right there. Worst case, I would stop it below this candle, and I got a quick 25-cent move, something like that. I was selling into that because it had already kind of moved somewhat, still had the high of day to the left, and when it rolled over, I was out the rest. So made a little money on TSO as well. Anyway, guys, I've babbled long enough. You can always shoot me an email. My email address on the website. Otherwise, have a great weekend. I'll quit babbling. We'll talk to you guys on Monday.